Hello and welcome, Corgi community, to the Corgi Town USA podcast. We are deep in the throat. Oh, excuse me. Not the throat, deep in the throes. deep in the throes of season 2. And we have a creator today, and I'm super excited about it. So we're going to tell you all about that here shortly. But I'm Candy, owner of Corgi Town USA. In my lap is Chuckles. He's the spokescorg, always my sidekick. And we have the Corgi committee with us tonight. Booger and Hammer and Mortimer as well.
And Digby and the honorary corg, Wiggin.
Australian cattle corg.
Yeah. Do you know my computer guy was at the house today, and I told him that Wiggin's name was Wiggin. He just met Wiggin for the first time, and he knew right away. Like he said, "Is he named after so and so or Enders?" And I said, "Enders."
Oh, how fun!
So yes, he's named after Enders Wiggin from Ender's Game.
Wow, you had a woke.
I had a woke. Yeah, I had a woke. Well, a sci-fi geek is really what he is. So
okay, yeah, woke in certain communities.
Correct. Yeah, the sci-fi.
Yeah. So this is Kat Cohen.
Hi, I'm Kat.
Yeah, we introduced everybody except you. We talked all about the dogs and myself.
They're most important.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Being a publicist, we are. Well, we have a special guest today. We always have special guests, but I'm especially excited to speak to Stephanie Caprini. She is an author.
She is.
And she has a book out called What Faye Loves. So should we bring her on and talk about her book?
I think so. I saw the cover and it's really cute. So yes, I want to talk about the book.
I imagine the entire book is as cute as the...
I think so.
Okay, let's bring on Stephanie.
Hi.
Stephanie, welcome.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Nice to see you too. We are so excited about your book and excited to talk about your corgis. And being that we're publicists here, we're all about talking about ourselves.
And if we're going to talk about sci-fi, if you are also into sci-fi anime, then you will recognize Ein and Faye from Cowboy Bebop. Ein being Einstein the dog and Faye being one of the main characters. So
yeah,
you kind of already went there because
yay. Oh, I love all this energy.
Yes, all the sci-fi fun stuff.
So tell us about, Stephanie, tell us about this book, What Faye Loves. We want to ask you what inspired you to write it. That's the first burning question I have for you. But give us a little overview of the book, like a little synopsis.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. The book actually is all about the fact that the best things about life are in the little moments. It's learning to love life's little moments, and that is the journey that Faye goes on and the things that she discovers. That's the message at the end of the book. So I think it's a really cool, yes, it's meant for kids, but I actually just had a friend text me today and she's like, I cried when I read the book. It's just so great. So I think anyone of any age, regardless of what you're going through, can appreciate the nuances of the book, which makes it a really good family story too. Whether it's just you read it to your corgis or your dogs, or you read it to your kids. And I was inspired to write this book because a while ago, so I think 2010 or 11, I published my first full-length novel. And I've published 2 in the last 10 years, which is really exciting. And they all have a different message and they all have a different theme, but they focus on really strong characters. That's sort of what I tend to go with. And when we moved to Charlotte, we're originally from Chicago, but we moved to Charlotte. I have a friend that lives semi-close to here. And he came in and he got to meet Faye for the first time when she was like a puppy, like really, really little. And we were bumbling around the house, pointing out things that she would do and being like, oh, and listen to this story and oh, and listen to this story. And he was like, as an author, you should just write her story down. And I was like, ha, ha, ha. Oh. And then COVID hit and I was sitting at home going, what am I going to do with my life? And then I was like, oh, he said I should write a story. And so that's the genesis of how the book came about. And in writing the story, I think you always love your animals, but I think you get to fall in love with them even more when you figure out the special nuances that you want people to appreciate in them too. And I ran into an author, illustrator, and actually she's an illustrator, I'm the author, sorry. Ran into an illustrator named Zoe, who is a Good Dharma Designs here in Charlotte, kind of by happenstance online, had no idea she was here. And I fell in love with her because she does realistic drawings of dogs. And so I love that for the book, is that you get to see and experience Ein and Faye, but they feel like your dog. Like they don't feel like caricatures where it's something other, right? They feel like it really brings you into this idea that like, this could be my life, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's part of a great story is being relatable.
Yes.
Being able to see your friends, your loved ones in the characters
Yes.
of the book.
Mhm.
Yeah. And corgi people, we love books about corgis. So of course we all appreciate it.
Very
Mhm.
much so. Yeah.
I was at a corgi meetup and I had a booth, and someone came up to me and she was like, "Can I get it even though I don't have kids?" I was like, "You could get it if it's just you want to have it." And she's like, "I think I'll read it to my dogs." Is that weird? And I was like, "No."
No.
Not to us corgi people. We
Not
have
to-
full-on conversations.
Actually, okay, now I'm not just a corgi person. I have 2 cats. I had 1 cat. Okay, so for those of you who are counting, I had 1 cat, and for Christmas, I got another cat.
Mm-hmm. New little kitty.
Star Lord. His name is
Good.
Star Lord.
Love it.
And so I read to them and I talk to them. So
Yeah.
it's not just corgi people. I think it's fur baby people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
We're
clarify.
pet lovers.
Pet lovers.
But
Yeah.
that's who we are here for at Corgi Town, USA. I mean, we're big corgi people, but we're not breed elitists. We love all the furry
And
animals.
Yes.
there was oh man, I don't know where I found it, probably Instagram, but there was a school district that sent their elementary school and middle school kids to read children's books to animals in the shelter to calm them down.
Yep.
Right?
And it works.
And it works. I mean, being with them, they just want to be with you. They're pack animals, right? So you just read away.
Yes.
That warms my little heart.
It works, and they've shown kids just in the kennel, the bigger kennels with some dogs, some pups, some cats, whatever, and and the animals just sit there. So look that up on the internet.
It's
It is a thing,
Mhm.
and it is a wonderful thing, and the animals just they love the love.
Yeah. So if you
Wow.
have things that you support, which is kind of the next part of this, right? This a portion of the proceeds here, you can see it. A portion of the proceeds go to support local animal rescues. If you do have a rescue that you support, and you could ask them if they do something like that, or maybe you could help get them to do something like that. Can maybe leave the book there, and people that come in to do it could read the book to them. It's really great for everybody. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No.
Our paws are together in applause that you are supporting the rescue groups.
Yes.
We're very pro rescue here at Corgi Town, USA.
Yes.
My little boy's a rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the cats or the dogs?
One of the cats. My other cat is a semi-rescue. A friend picked up Mama in the parking lot of her apartment building, and then Mama made little babies. So I have one of the little babies. So it's a semi-rescue, and my corgi is a rescue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Digby.
Awesome.
Digby was the 5th out of my 8 corgis.
Yes.
No, I mean, he was the 7th, but he was the 5th rescue.
Yeah.
Rescue out of the 8 corgis. Yeah.
Okay. I think rescuing is so important. When my mom passed away 14, 15 years ago, I was still in college, and kind of the cathartic way to get through that was working at a rescue. So I spent my whole senior year of college working at a rescue that was local, and fostering dogs and taking care of them. And there's just something, you find a new part of your heart when you give back. And even if you can't bring a dog into your home or a cat into your home full time, supporting them, whether it's monetarily or like with your time, I think is so great.
100%.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about without giving away too much, because we encourage everyone to purchase your book.
Please,
but without
rescues.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
Right.
And without giving away too much, please tell us what your favorite parts are of the book, or maybe share some of the highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I will not give away too much, but my first favorite part of the book is the great job that the illustrator did with these little guys. So just for an example, like when you kind of get into the book, you can see.
Aww.
I know. She just did. I think the pictures bring you into the story. And if you you can see her face, like the expressions on there are great. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's Ein. I don't know if anyone out there has two pets, one of them does this to the other one all the time. You give them the
Yes.
side, what are you doing?
Yep.
For those listening, we do have quite a few listeners. We encourage you to, one, buy the book, but also please go to our YouTube page so that you can see the little sneak peek preview, because she is showing us, Stephanie here is showing us some pictures in the book. And I want to tell you how badly I want to get down there and snuggle with those cartoon corgis.
They're cute.
Thanks. Yeah, and the other thing that I think we really try to do that I love about this is, I kind of mentioned this earlier, it's not just for kids. There are some Easter eggs in here for adults as you read it that you might pick up on. I don't want to give them away because I want people to find them. But one of them, and this is not really a giveaway, if you read it a couple times, you notice it. The actions, loves her family, loves, here we go, eating one piece at a time. So we tried to highlight the actions in a different font to really drive home that idea that loving life is about loving the moments and not necessarily about loving the things.
Yes.
But I had someone ask me, is this a true story? Yes. Yes, it is. These are all things he actually does. And so the one that I love probably the most, partly because of the way it's drawn, just because I think the story is kind of funny, is this guy. She loves car rides. She thinks car rides are the greatest. I mean, what dog doesn't love car rides, right? But the first time she did this, we have this little hammock in the back so that they don't fall in between the seats, right? It's a little protection.
Yep, we have them too.
We were driving and we were pulling in, and I just kind of sits back there and does this thing. And I was like, whatever. And she must have been 6 months old. She was just getting her driving feet. And we pulled up and we stopped, and she jumped up on the little ledge in between and just hammocked herself over it and was like, hey, what's going on? And we were like, what are you doing? She's like, it's cool. I'll help you navigate. We're good. Go that way. So
Corgi can't be left out of the action, man.
That's right.
No. My absolute favorite picture is the last one, and I won't give that away. But the last picture of the whole story is one of my absolute favorites. She did a fantastic job with it.
Well, that makes me super excited to read it. I have a banner for those watching on YouTube, and I will also share these links in the comments on both YouTube, and if you listen on a platform and you happen to be on the internet, I will share them. But Amazon.com is a place you can get this. I believe Barnes and Noble as well.
So Barnes and Noble online has it, but I actually have a friend here who shops at Barnes and Noble all the time, and she called and said, I am going to pick up a bunch of books for Christmas. Do you have this in stock? And they said, no, but we can get you a copy. So a lot of local Barnes and Nobles will order a copy in if they know you're going to pick it up.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, so Amazon.com, and if you look, there's a link. Again, we'll share the link in our comments. But it's What Faye Loves by Stephanie Caprini. So this is where you want to pick it up. And you can also follow Ein and Faye on Instagram. And there are several posts about the book there as well, because it's all about the adventures of Ein and Faye.
Yes.
We would love, when you get it and you want to start to get involved, we would love if you shared your story and just hashtag What Faye Loves. Hashtag What Faye Loves. And
hashtag What Faye Loves. Share
some of the moments. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm probably old. That's probably not really a thing. I'm just old.
This is a thing, because I saw some youngin do it. So
for our listeners, I was a little worried that Kat was over here making obscene gestures with her hands.
No,
but she's actually just showing us what a hashtag looks like, so our viewers can see. So
such little faith in me.
And if you are local to Charlotte, just a quick shout out, because these are great. Park Road Books is an independently owned bookstore, and they have a handful of copies, as does Fullwood Market. So because of the idea of giving back, I want to give them a little bit of a moment here if you're local. Those are two really great places too.
Yeah, I love it. I love independent bookstores. I worked in bookstores
Oh, great.
when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until I got into college, I was working. Yeah, I was working in bookstores. So I love bookstores. And I just recently shared a story about because of the late Anne Rice.
Oh.
When I was 13, I think I was about 13, I was very gothy.
No.
And I
can't imagine.
I know. I was so excited. My dark side. I was so excited to meet Anne Rice, and I went to one of her book signings.
Ooh, how fun.
Yeah, and she was there for something like 13 or 14 hours.
Wow.
She was like known for doing these book signing marathons.
That's amazing.
Cool.
But it was at an independent bookstore where they did it.
Yes.
And but she was so nice and she was so gracious, and so I got to retell that story because I was reliving it when I sadly heard that she passed away, but I got to share that story again, and it wasn't one that I'd thought about in a while, but it was my copy of Servant of the Bones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, I need to read it again. I read it, of course, when I first got it because you're very eager, right? And then I think I've read it probably once again, but I still have the copy, still have the signed copy. So that's what I should do is make that a goal to read it.
Make that a goal.
Properly. But yes, it's good. You have to like that kind of novel.
Okay.
You know, you have to, if you're an Anne Rice fan, you will 100% love it. If your thing is, if listener, viewer, if your thing is more like romantic type of Harlequin, probably not.
No, I don't think Anne Rice is Harlequin-y at all.
No, but if you like the kind of folklore of very intricate characters that are complicated in their own way, that's kind of my favorite part of it. Or her characters were always very complicated.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
yeah,
It's
you kind of if you kind of want to again that relatable, like Faye, right?
Yeah.
The relatable character. That's what makes you love a book.
Mm-hmm. And
so
I've actually people mentioned to me, again, friends, because a handful of my friends started with getting the book, which is nice of them. Shout out to you guys. Thank you. One of them has two girls, and she's like, my two girls are at odds. One of them loves Faye, and one of them loves Ein, and they just are like dead set that one is their favorite. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute.
That is cute. I love that. Mm-hmm. Well, and people have their favorites. We the Corgi committee here, you know who's the fan favorite is Booger. My only little girl. People love Booger. They say Booger is my favorite. And I love that for her. She's a rescue. So, and as she did not have a good start in life.
No, she did not.
As she gets older, that's becoming more apparent because her age is not being. So she has a lot of kind of problems that we're managing to keep her comfortable and happy. And, but people love her. They say, I love Booger. She's my favorite. She's a fan favorite. People have their favorites.
She's a determined old lady, and she will let you know, like when her brofer Digby comes to visit, she lets him know in no uncertain terms that she does not want him in her face. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And she's a little tiny bit of a thing.
16 pounds.
She's 16 pounds. Digby is 30 or 35. I think he's 30 pounds. So he's twice her size, and he's just like, okay, Mom, can I? No. Yeah, it's like, Mom, can I? No.
Yep.
No, Digby, no. But can I? No, she does not like you.
She sees him coming. She's like, you're back. Get out of here.
She does.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Side note on weight. Ein is 42 pounds and Faye is 40 pounds. And Faye, we fostered a dog when Ein was 2, and it was a black lab. And at one point we just looked down and we're like, we have 2 labs. Like, he's giant, just giant, short little legs, but the same size as a lab, which is crazy. Where was I going with this? There was a point. Oh, wait. When we had Ein, we noticed that he's not really a dog. He prefers people. He likes scratches. He likes to be in control, and he can tell humans what to do, right? Because he barks at them and they're like, okay, I'll give you some more scratches or some treats. He's like, this is great. With other dogs, they have to like fight for who's in control and like have that stare down with like, no, it's me, no, it's me, no, it's me. And as females tend to like to be in control, and he doesn't want to give it up. So we noticed that he can get lonely, so we wanted to get him a sister. But we had a really hard time finding him a sister because most females are super alpha, and he was not, to your point, like, Mom, no, she won't let you. Like, he's like, I'm already 5. You can't tell me that I can't do it. So we worked really hard to find Faye, who was a lot more beta and a lot more like almost like omega. She was like way at the end of the other spectrum. Like, I'll do whatever you want.
So they're a good pairing.
They are a very good pairing, yes. She's
the way. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say she's very motherly. She like bathes him and like wipes his eyes with her tongue and like takes care of him. I know, it's really cute.
That is super sweet.
Aw.
The way my first corgi Lilo was like that. He was a big boy. He was 42, I think 43 pounds.
Yes.
But yeah, people that think corgis are small dogs, they're not. Small dogs are actually kind of a medium dog. They just they don't have legs.
Yeah.
No, we have to buy like the large or the extra large of everything. Like that you had mentioned, your dog is kind of getting a little older. Ein's 8. When we got him, kind of a fun story. We'd been on a list for a rescue or for a breeder, like anything, because all of the lists, you're like 400th on the list, right? So we were on a list, and this breeder called us up 2 days before Christmas and was like, I have this corgi. Do you still want one? And we were like, yes, we do. She goes, but I have to tell you, he only has one testicle. So I can't keep him. He's beautiful. He's 4 months old. He's perfect. And I was going to show him and breed him, but I can't because he's not a full male. So I just need you to know that. And if he has this issue, we don't know what other genetic issues or other issues he's going to have. And we were like, we don't care. We're great. So that's how we got him. And ever since we got him, the poor little man has been like one thing after another. And you feel for them, because he had this like thing in his head where he had to like pull out all this hair like a cyst, and it was kind of like 6 months old. And the doctors were like, he's going to have hip dysplasia. So as he gets older,
Hammer has hip dysplasia.
So I can feel for what you're going through because he's 8 and his body thinks he's 15. He's got this horrible hip dysplasia and he's on meds. And it's funny when people are like, because they know that I'm involved with rescues. And like, so did you rescue them? And I keep wanting to say like, kinda. Like, how many humans out there, corgi people are different. And I appreciate that. But when you look at a rescue and you look at all the dogs that come into a rescue and the situations that they come from, you start to kind of lose your faith in some people. You appreciate people taking care of them, but just as a general. And between him and all of his health issues and the amount of money we spent on his health issues, you just wonder, like, would someone not have at some point just been like, I'm done? Even corgi rescues, like my neighbor, works with a corgi rescue, and she's gotten a corgi, and she got one that was like, that it's just too much work. Okay.
Yeah, that's we have some friends in rescue, and one of my so I love we had Melissa Terzis on this season. She runs the East Coast Corgi Rescue out of DC. I love her philosophy on rescue and how she and her team run that rescue. It's amazing. But they have kind of problems with puppy mills and Amish breeders. The Amish don't see them as animals with feelings and knowing how to feel pain. They see them as commodities,
right?
And so that creates problems.
And like that unfortunately is a whole breeder thing. We could probably go for 30 minutes on like how we think that should be fixed.
Right. Right. But my point to bringing that up was that, yes, you are correct. That's why we are so pro rescue here, is that every dog needs a good home. Every dog needs a good home. Every kitty, so it's, things happen. People will be people. People will make decisions that are not always in the best interest of the animal. But luckily, we have a great caring community as well who step up and take care of them and find them homes. So I love that. I love the stories of how you got your babies, and thank you for sharing that. And
can I make up a little plug really fast?
Absolutely.
For Faye, we kind of talked about Ein's health issues. When we got Faye, like I said, we were looking for a dog that was like Omega, right? Like all the way at the other end of the spectrum. And when we met her, she was shaking, and the breeder was like, she's just scared of everything. And I was like, okay. But they got along, and it was great. And we had been on a list for a rescue, a list with different breeders. And this was the one that was like, hey, I have this dog. Are you still interested? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, just so you know. And then we were like, uh-oh, now what? Just so you know, she has these unique markings that make her not showable. Right. And so I can't breed her. I can't show her because we don't know if it would be passed down. And I honestly, like, every time I see her, it takes my breath away because I think that stripe down her face, and this is actually the stripe down her face in the back of the book. You can see there she is, on the hand of the car, but she just straight down the middle is one side black, one side white. I think that's one of the most unique things about her, and everybody falls in love with her. And it's kind of funny because everyone, when they see both of them, they're like, oh, he's cute. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. And they go right
Yes.
for her. And I have to be like, she doesn't like people. She likes dogs. If you have a dog, she will be happy. If you have a people, she will not
She
be
won't.
happy. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know, though. The wording is always appreciated, I'm sure.
Yes.
No, I appreciate what you're going through, and thank you for taking such good care of them. My Hammer, he's a rescue as well, and he has hip dysplasia, and we're actually in the process
Oh,
where he had surgery. I rescued him he was 4, and at 5 we discovered he had really bad hip dysplasia and early onset arthritis and just bad. But we had surgery on the one side,
did
developed
they
a
cut
muscle
the
joint.
sugar off, like the head of it off? Is that what they?
Yes. Yeah. That's the surgery for the hip dysplasia, and did hydrotherapy, built the muscle
Oh,
joint, did well. But now that he's advancing in age, he's 11.
wow.
My vet, on the same page with my vet that we're not sure that having surgery on the other side is really
No.
going to. He's not going to bounce back like he did when he was
Nope.
5. You have a
Right.
lot of risk of surgery.
Just like people.
Yeah,
Yep.
just like people, and there was a lot of intense exercising for the rehabilitation portion.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
now we're getting him used to a cart, and so now he has a cart with counterbalance weight, so he doesn't put too much on
Ooh.
the. He's still mobile, and I'm
Okay.
gonna keep him mobile as often and as long as I can. And we do walkies every day, and when it warms up, we'll swim again. But
Ooh.
he is getting used to his cart. But yes, Hammer has his own, his own as well. So I do understand the aging corgis. We're at first name basis with the vet. We're up there every week. So
You sound a little bit like our friends, the 3 crazy corgis with Buttercup. With
yep,
but
we love the 3 crazy corgi people.
they're so wonderful.
Yeah,
I
sweethearts.
love that you brought up sort of the handicap because I think it's also really important. Just because I know you guys love rescue so much, and this kind of goes with Faye because the book has gotten such a great reception from people that I'm already starting to think of like what's the second book and the third book. And I think it would be really fun to do something like Faye and the Scary, right? We always call anything that scares her the scary. It's just the scary.
Oh,
And because you brought up physical ailments, I think it's also really important for people to appreciate, like, there are so many times my husband and I are like, I think, Faye, if you had been adopted or purchased by anybody else, you would have been given back at this point because her emotional state, like, my poor little lamb, she's just so stressed and anxious all the time that it's taken us 3 years of working with the vet and trying different techniques because I'm very anti, like if you can do something without a pill, let's do something without a pill, like hydrotherapy first, right before you
Right.
go on something forever. But after 3 years of trying different things, she is my little medication dog. She's on meds for her anxiety and it's helping her tremendously, right? Dealing with people when we go for walks, and you can't always play with the dogs, and you have to play with people. And eating, she would regularly vomit instead of eat her food, and we were like, well, just eat your food, it's right there.
aw.
Yeah.
Poor
Kitchen was
baby.
terrifying. The whole kitchen was scary, and so now she's walking around the kitchen, and it's great. But I think that just because you guys love dogs so much, and I know your listeners do too, the idea that sometimes the ailments are emotional, mental, and you can't see them, and they require just as much work and patience and love as the physical ones.
They do. So for many years, I was a massage therapist, and I still
Ooh,
practice Bach flower remedies. I'm a certified Bach flower practitioner, and so
okay,
I continue to practice with Bach flowers. And most everybody who's listening knows what Bach flowers are. It's BACH. They're
okay.
the little yellow and black bottles that you see in the vitamin section of places like Whole Foods and Sprouts and things like that.
The rescue remedy, right? For
Rescue
pets?
remedy is what most people know. Rescue remedy is in case of emergency. And that's
Okay.
exactly what it is, rescue remedy. And they work on emotions. And so so many friends. Who was it that we worked on? Was it Hammer or was it Bug? I don't remember.
Probably. It's probably Boog. Boog's the
Probably
nervous one.
and
Boog's the
and
nervous one.
yeah, and even Digby in the whole
Yeah, Digby's a nervous dog.
Digby's a nervous
Digby's a
dog.
nervous
So
dog.
coming from Candace's house to my home, And he attached to me very, very quickly, but he still had that nervousness about him. And so the point being that the emotional can be extremely scary if you don't realize, and that it is emotional, number one, but number two, emotional has a lot of physical components to it. And you could be treating the wrong thing. You could be you could just be losing your patience for no reason. It's an emotional thing, and we've got to look at that. We don't think of our fur babies sometimes as being emotional creatures, and they are.
I do. I think, but I mean,
yeah, a lot of people.
The general human doesn't necessarily.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And there are wonderful people, like there's Corgin Rehab. Rehab, they do the rehabilitation for some of these dogs that are not adoptable if they have aggression issues or they're dog reactive or people reactive, and there are people out there doing that work too as well, and we appreciate them. So I don't want to keep you all night, Stephanie. We'll talk your ear off because we're chatty Cathy's over here. But for those listening, those viewing, please go follow Ein and Faye on Instagram. And if you go to Amazon, you can purchase the book, and we highly recommend you do. It's What Faye Loves, and you will be supporting some rescues. Any final thoughts for us, Stephanie?
If you do want to follow us on Instagram, you can appreciate my attempt to be funny. It is einagram.corgi, so EIN-agram.corgi. 8 years ago.
I'll share a link, and I'll share a link in the comments.
Oh, we were super we are so old. I thought we were super cool coming up with that handle, but
I think it's clever. I think it's clever.
I want to say thank you to you guys for having us, first and foremost, for everything that you do. I think the fact that there is a space to talk about animals and especially rescues is so special. And for anyone listening or watching this that does end up purchasing and enjoying the book, please know I do split the proceeds pretty much 50-50 with rescues. So it's not like 2 pennies are going, like we wrote $225 checks last year because
wonderful.
So thank you to all of our readers. We appreciate you very, very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for writing the book. Thank you for taking care of those wonderful corgis. And thank you for joining us today. And
it's my pleasure.
Great. Thank you. We're looking forward to reading the book.
Yes, we are.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm going to read it to my corgis.
I know you are. And then I'm going to read it to my whole brood.
Will Digby sit for that?
No, Digby will not sit for that, but we'll make him sit for that. And
treats involved.
When I show the pictures, because Ein looks like Digby. Ein has the same coloring as Digby.
Yeah, that little bit of that cardigan kind of American corgi look. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
You could say, look, you have friends.
Yeah.
You don't know that they're friends, but you have friends.
You do. So wonderful. So I look forward to reading the book.
Yeah. We're going to read them to our corgis, and we hope that you will too. So please purchase the book. Go to Amazon, What Faye Loves. Follow Einagram, Ein and Faye on Instagram. Again, the links will be in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Cat, Candy, Chuckles, the rest of the Corgi committee. We hope you have a wonderful evening.
Bye.